Hey, good evening. So, one of the comments I get a lot on a lot of my videos, especially anything to do with nuclear war, is that what about the Poseidon system? What about the Poseidon system? What about this Russian nuclear radioactive tsunamis? So, felt like I wanted to make a quick video to address this real fast just to clear up some confusions and kind of dispel a little bit of myth from reality. Although, be saying up front that at least public knowledge, we don't know the true capabilities. But I'm going to tell you why I speculate that the true capabilities are probably not close to what a lot of people have in their mind because of those 2018 Russian propaganda videos. So, what is the Poseidon weapon system? Well, it's really the Status 6 oceanic multi-purpose system. Poseidon comes from a publicly chosen through some type of polling name, and people think it is some world-ending nuclear tsunami with these giant 500-foot waves spreading radioactive waste all over the coast of the United States. Be the end of the world and all that good stuff. So basically, 2015, it was, air quotes, accidentally revealed by a Russian news television station. United States intelligence community believes that it was intentionally revealed to raise concerns. So it occurred while Putin was giving a speech denouncing the United States plans regarding ballistic missile defense. This would have been right around, there was that whole time where there was consideration about putting some type of ballistic missile defense systems in Eastern Europe, the Baltics, and we ended up backtracking and going with mobile Aegis platforms on our Arleigh Burkes and Tychos. But there was a lot of contention from the Russian side about placing ballistic missile defense systems in Poland and other locations. That was something that happened during the Obama administration. But like I said, we did end up backtracking from it. So that kind of brought on this whole thing where we came out with what I call these wonder weapons, where it culminated in this 2018 video, and what they kind of wheeled out was really a lot of old technology that we had already explored back in the 50s and 60s. We really found it wasn't viable and it didn't offer any strategic advantages over other weapon systems already in place. So that included the nuclear-powered cruise missiles. It included this Poseidon system and some other ones. There was, I believe, 6 systems total. So, what is it? So it's this leak originally was either meant to be a warning or a purposeful misinformation. The reality is they are working on development of something. And at its core, it's an underwater drone capable of carrying warheads, both conventional and nuclear, and kind of, quote unquote, it's a autonomous undersea torpedo. The first batch of them wasn't manufactured till January 2023. So we talk about some of these hypothetical conflicts I was talking about, some of the time frames. Well, they hadn't even developed any. And even with that, that's development. That doesn't necessarily mean deployment. And from what understanding is that they have not developed any warheads for it yet. At least any deployed warheads. And we usually have a pretty good understanding because of different treaties and whatnot over what's actually deployed, at least between us and the Russians. And it looks like it is believed to have a speed around 54 knots or 100 kilometers an hour, or for us Yanks, that'd be 62 miles an hour. It's believed to have a range of about 10,000 kilometers, which would be about 6,200 miles, and a maximum depth of about 1,000 meters. It's roughly 2 meters in diameter and 24 meters long based on leaked photos which would be about 6 feet by 80 feet. This is all based on leaked information on what is being released. The truth is, no one can accurately say at this point what the true capabilities are of the delivery system, and what the warhead size is, and what the yield is. I know, at least in 2018, when the videos were released, and they talked to the then Secretary of Defense, James Mattis, he basically shrugged his shoulders and said he wasn't concerned because it didn't offer any strategic advantage over what they currently possessed. And I've kind of said that a few times now. Even if a fraction of their current stockpile is operational, only a fraction of it, and even if that fraction of it, even just a part of that is accurate enough to land and hit their targets or close enough, it'd be enough to cause a significantly devastating impact. And some people say, well, we could glass them or turn. Yes, of course. Nobody's saying that. So I don't know why people keep bringing that up. So, of course, it doesn't matter much. It's not like you get in a fight and you can mess the other person up, but if you're all, broken nose, your face all busted up, it's still not a pleasant experience. We're talking a lot more than just a bloodied nose in this circumstance. So, here's to get away from some of this BS, though, talking about nuclear tsunamis. The 2011 Japanese tsunami was about 163,000 times bigger than the largest nuclear weapon ever detonated, the Tsar Bomba. So this idea of these gigantic tidal waves and kind of stuff like that is pretty misleading. Of course, what separates naturally occurring tsunamis from some type of weapon system like this would be, of course, naturally occurring tsunamis don't tend to be radioactive. But, again. So, and, there's a possibility about warhead being equipped with a cobalt bomb, which would contaminate even larger areas than a standard nuclear warhead. However, there's no evidence that it's equipped with that, and based on public knowledge, there doesn't seem to be that this is any shift in strategic balance. As far as we know, we are not trying to develop any type of countermeasures to this weapon. We're not trying to develop our own weapons. If this thing was so highly effective and so devastating, it'd be hard-pressed to think that we would not be currently developing our own version of this. With recent leaks regarding the Ukraine conflict and all that, it got leaked. I don't think it was originally leaked to, but it ended up on a Minecraft Discord, of all things, server. But what is evident is that we have infiltrated nearly every aspect of the Russian military-industrial complex. The Russian military, I didn't say industrial complex, but the Russian military. We know everything that's going on to a frightening degree. It's probably the reason why Ukraine's having the success they've had so far, is we're able to tell them exactly when, how, and everything about when Russians are going to strike. That presents a huge strategic advantage. At the end of the day, we know what the capabilities probably are. We probably have a good idea. Either it's being downplayed or it just really isn't anything there over what the normal capabilities are. So, having said that, Nuclear War Simulator doesn't really simulate underwater torpedoes or anything, but I'm going to do the closest thing to it. So we're going to go with 10 weapons. Just pretend like we're Russia. I don't like the idea of United States striking Russia. So we're going to take this up to, let's go all in. Let's say 100 megatons. So this is at the very extreme far range that I don't think anyone thinks is realistic. But for all those that want to say this, let's just see. And we're just going to pick some targets right there on the coast. Not going to be a one-for-one deal, but to deal with it. So, boom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, give the West Coast a little love too. This Port of Los Angeles, I always love to hit that one. Let's not leave San Francisco. 8. Give Seattle a little love. 9. San Diego. All right. Let's play with this a little bit. What's the casualties going to be? So, $55.6 million. So that's it, folks. If Poseidon is all that, and they load it up with these gigantic warheads, and they do all that stuff, and, you know, closest approximation there. Of course, it would look different, but that's it. But I'm going to tell you that even just a portion of their current stockpile is going to be able to do the same thing. So, and as demonstrated, our ballistic missile defense systems aren't going to be strong enough or numerous enough. I shouldn't say strong enough, but numerous enough to prevent widespread attacks. So, I demonstrated that with a Mach 1 with the Chinese using command modern operations, and I'm going to do one with North Korea because that's a little more interesting to see if we can stop that one with estimates, giving them 17 of those, well, whatever they demoed. I'd have to look at it. I haven't researched it yet, but there's the Poseidon. So, have a great night, everybody. Looking forward to some additional content. Make sure to like, subscribe. Whether you like nuclear weapons, whether you like cats, they're both devastating to environments, so they go hand in hand. That's what this channel is all about, nukes and cats. So, thanks everybody. Good night.